You know, I was working on a completely different video to post today, but that's gonna have to wait because yesterday a game released and not gonna lie, it's pretty alright. Who am I kidding? It's the best damn multiplayer experience I have had in VR up until this point. It literally made me put every other project I had on hold just for this because I have to talk about it. I can't stop thinking about it. The game is basically this. Imagine if Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends, and a whole bunch of VR headsets all met up at the Seventh Heaven Bar in Midgar, and 9 months later pops out this beautiful gem, Population 1. And contrary to most multiplayer VR games, the population of the game isn't 1. It seems this game is already kind of popping off on the Oculus Store and Steam, which is good to hear. And yeah, you heard that right. Oculus Store and Steam Store and the Quest Store. This game gets cross-compatibility down better than Beat Saber, for Pete's sake, and it isn't an Oculus exclusive, which I guess nowadays is kind of a rarity. So let me let you in on something. I've got a secret game rating scale that I don't tell people about regarding VR games, and I think it's something that a lot of hardcore VR players can back me up here about. There are bad games, there are buggy but decent games, there are the good games, then there's the must-plays, and then there's those VR games that you play and then you literally dream about afterwards. First time it happened for me was in VR chat. I literally had a dream I was in VR chat. VR does something weird with your brain, and dreaming about the game practically puts you in the game, but in a dream. Then it happened again with Lone Echo, and then with Boneworks, and I can proudly say, after playing Population 1 all day, then laying down to sleep that night, counting sheep turned into counting my number of dubs while slaying fools with the op. I also dreamed that there was a dedicated mute button in the game for my mic so I can trash talk the dude that jumped all the way across the map for my teammates and then gets downed. So maybe that's a good feature to add, but what do I know? But anyways, it's a VR battle royale, and yeah, I know. I'm tired of battle royales too. Like a kabillion of them have launched this past year, from PUBG to Fortnite to Warzone, Apex Legends, Realm Royale. By the way, rest in peace, Realm Royale. I love that game and I hate you, Hi-Rez, for destroying it. And plenty of these types of games have launched for VR as well. Virtual Battlegrounds, Standout, shoot, even Rec Room has a thriving VR mode as a custom map. But at least on the VR side, none of them quite got it right. There's always this level of jank in the game, where the actual game mechanics feel sloppier than the guy waking up in drinking night in VR chat after a night of drinking games. And VR battle royales have always just felt like a cool novelty and a decent way to pass the time, but not really something worth investing a whole lot of time within. And this is where Population 1 hits a little different. At least at launch, it's got a healthy player population, so finding full games doesn't take longer than the actual matches last, which is a huge problem for most other VR games. In a lot of BR games, searching for a game takes 20 minutes. But the game only lasts 3 minutes because some freaking VR Shroud wannabe snipes you from behind his back while clipping into a wall because the game is broken. That kind of stuff just doesn't make me or anyone else want to play the game. And at least in Pop 1, when VR Shroud breaks the game by laying down and climbing up walls, and I die to it, I'm back in another match within minutes. Your time is valuable. Cherish it. But player population aside, the actual game is just fun. I played it a little during the playtesting phase, but only a couple matches. So when I played it on launch day like everyone else, everything was pretty fresh to me. But within an hour, I already had most of the map memorized, I knew where to find good loot, I knew where you die, and I knew where I could take advantage of other players' poor positioning. I do have a lot of time in Battle Royale games, and it feels like this is the first VR Battle Royale where decent game sense actually matters. It's not just about exploiting the game and its mechanics, which is something I actually hate about VR shooters. At the highest level of play, most VR shooters become about who can exploit the game's mechanics the best, and essentially break the game. And the fact that you're in VR makes it kind of hard to avoid that. And it turns into a thing where it's not about actually mastering the good game mechanics, which isn't so much the fault of the players. You gotta do what you gotta do to be the best, but here's a quick example of a feature I thought I disliked, and you might dislike too, but it actually turns out to be something super intuitively great. So Population 1 has these weird arcadey crosshairs that show up on your screen for all weapons besides snipers. This allows just about anyone to pretty much shoot from the hip if you like, not saying you're actually gonna hit anything, and you can still aim down the sights, and there is a time and place for both. But adding this one visual identifier, the crosshair, incentivizes people to play the game faster and the way it was actually intended to play. Population 1 is not a slow, campy sniper fest. The games are fast-paced and combat matches that pace. In most VR shooters, once you get decent at the game, you don't actually aim down the sights anyways. Yet, people still do it, especially when they're new. And then they die because of it, because intuitively you think, oh, I've got a gun in my hand. I'm literally holding it, and in every single shooter over the past decade, flat or VR, you pretty much have to aim down the sights to have any bit of accuracy. Well, in VR, that's just not how multiplayer games work. In Pavlov, you might find yourself getting dunked on by a dude, and come to find out it's just because he's spraying, but he knows where the shots are gonna go. Population 1 takes that mystery out of the game by just showing you where you're going to shoot at all times. And like I said, it doesn't mean that I think it's perfect, and doesn't mean that you're actually gonna hit those shots. I mean, you have to actually have good aim to hit them, but it takes that intuitive level and just big brains everyone in the lobby like, oh, crosshair, shoot, win, or miss, whatever. And you might think that might wreck the skill ceiling of the game, but it doesn't, and let me get into that in a second. The magic of Population 1 working as a VR game is the pacing. This isn't a 100-person or 50-person battle royale on a gigantic map that takes 30 minutes to walk across. It's a pretty small map with 18 players per game, making 6 teams of 3 players. The smaller map and the fast-moving wall speed cuts the map even smaller and forces everyone to get into action really quickly. One problem that I had in Virtual Battlegrounds, a previous VR-BR, is the map was so large for its small player population, I'd be fully kitted out and literally counting pebbles on the floor because the action just took so long to happen. But there's no slow moment in Pop 1. It's moved towards the fight or the wall is on your ass. This also makes it fun to watch. VR games in general are notoriously hard to watch on something like Twitch or in a stream. You might disagree with me, but I kind of do that Twitch thing sometimes. By the way, twitch.tv/Thrillawoo. And I've gotten feedback from thousands of people, and yeah, most VR games are really hard to watch, especially for non-VR people. This game, however, is fast-paced enough to keep entertaining, but easy enough to understand that I don't have to explain what I'm doing because people just get lost in a lot of VR streams. By far, it's the best option for people wanting to stream VR games at the moment that aren't VR Chat or Beat Saber. It's just fun to watch, and the social aspect keeps it entertaining all the time.
Like Scoob!
Alright, can you...
Population 1, man!
So now the technical stuff. Skill floor and skill ceiling and getting good at the game. I know I've been praising the game quite a bit, and that's due to multiple things because really, Population 1 is not some groundbreaking, crazy game that's going to change the gaming industry. And it's certainly not the best battle royale ever released. I mean, the graphics aren't anything to write home about, the gunplay and controls are definitely not perfect, and there's still a lot of what I call VR jank going on. But in terms of VR competitive shooters, it's a cut above the rest in a lot of ways, and I haven't found any VR game that itches my competitive nature. Because I don't know about you, but I graduated high school like 6 years ago, and I haven't picked up a football since. So I turned to gaming, and until now, I played CS or Overwatch when I just wanted to feel that primitive Neanderthal alpha male competition and to get that out of my brain. But this is finally a VR game that scratches that for me. Yeah, it's got crosshairs, and to some, that makes the game feel too easy to get into. Like, Pop 1 is holding your hand a little. But what that really does is lower the skill floor, making it easier for a lot of people to get in the game and feel good playing it, but the skill ceiling is still massively high for the game. Whether it's positioning or game sense or raw aim, there's a lot that you can do to get better and be better than everyone else in the lobby. But, hold up, hold up. That's where the wild card is thrown in. Building. This game has building, you know, like in Fortnite. But here's the thing, it's not Fortnite building, because in my opinion, that's the worst part of that game and probably why I don't want to play it and probably why some people don't want to play this game. But instead, it's a small thing that separates the crazy players from the casual players. I felt pretty good about myself. You can win and not build a single thing. I won like 7 out of 12 games or something, and I haven't built a damn wall in the game yet, except for in the tutorial. And you know, I feel pretty good about myself. Like, I might quit YouTube and then become an esports pro in this game, and then also eat ramen. Then some esports pro VR ninja came in and built a freaking Cologne cathedral around him and absolutely wrecked me. And that's how a competitive game should feel. Low skill floor, high skill ceiling, and most of the players sit somewhere in the middle. So this is my piece. I'm praising the game, and I can't tell if it's because this game is really, really good, or if because most of the previous VR games like it have been pretty bad, and now I'm just hyped that I have an actually playable game that's not an Oculus exclusive. By the way, that's why a lot of games were excluded. But what I will say is that even if you don't like building, even if you don't like battle royales, if you like VR and you like a competitive game, I suggest you give it a go. I'm giving this one an absolute seal of approval. And I will be streaming today, likely playing this very game, so come on by and say what's up. Also, join up in my Discord. We're gonna have game nights and fun time playing this game pretty often, so come on in and join the best damn VR community on the planet, yeah. And I do want to thank all of my Patreon supporters, especially my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous Omegas, like Very Evil Shadow, 2080 Ti, Benji, Marks, Dented Melon, Fusion Oak, Gecko86, HCG Randon, KR, Chaotic, Julian, Ron Zarelli, That Brock Guy, Tristan Sloan, and True Killer. I couldn't do any of this without you. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it. Subscribe if you want more of this. And hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love. Thrill out.